Hello and welcome to my quick review of the FitBit Charge 4. If you're familiar with Fitbit, this will look very similar to the previous charges. The charge design hasn't changed radically. It's got the monochrome screen on the front. Rather than having a mechanical button at the side, as it did on something like the Charge 2, it now has a touch button, and it still has the sensors on the back. On this particular model, they now have GPS and also FitBit Pay, which allows you to pay for items just by tapping the Charge 4 against the payment terminal. So as long as your bank supports it, and not every bank does, that means that you wouldn't necessarily need to take your phone or cards out with you when you're going for a run or whatever exercise you're doing. You just have this and you can still pay for small items. If you are out and about and using the FitBit Pay, you might think that means you can leave behind your mobile and your wallet, and you can, unless you want to listen to some music, because there's no onboard storage for music on the Charge 4. So if you like popping your headphones in and going for a run, you're still going to need your mobile or music player. The Charge 4 doesn't really solve that particular issue. And if that's something you're looking for, you're going to want to take a look at the Fitbit Versa instead, which does have both onboard music and contactless payment. In the box, you get the Charge 4 and a couple of bands. There's a larger one and a smaller one. This comes in a variety of colours, and you're able to swap the bands out very easily as you could on the previous Charge models. So there's already loads of bands available. You can just shop on Amazon, pick yourself up something a bit snazzier if you're not a fan of the plastic band. So the main screen is touchscreen, and you can change the clock face. This one has steps, time and heart rate. It would show the heart rate if I was wearing this. Just tap the screen to bring that up. And you can swipe to select your exercise, control Spotify on your phone, view your calendar, carry out a relaxation exercise, set timer, set alarm, view the weather and view the settings. The watch can hold a number of different exercise shortcuts, and these can be set in the app, so you've got quite a range you can select. Once you've got your favourites, you can then order them, so your most favourite, most used exercise is at the top and easiest to get to, and least used are at the bottom. You'll notice on the shortcut menu a little arrow. That's only available on activities that have GPS. You swipe up and that's where you can turn GPS on or off. When you then start the activity, it will connect. This takes about 10 to 20 seconds. This now tracks your runs, tracks where you go on the map, and you can see heart zones, pace. It shows you things like fat burn, peak fat burn, average pace. However, the GPS will use up the battery much quicker. So standard without GPS, you'll get about 7 days. Turn the GPS on and it goes down to about 4 or 5 hours. All this working out gets converted into activity zone points, and it's all logged and tracked and fully explained, and gives you a really nice clear summary how you're getting on. And this can be viewed on a day or a week view. As with other Fitbits, you can also track your sleep. You get a sleep score. You can look into the graphs as to when you're in deep sleep, REM sleep. And of course, you have access to the Fitbit coach and guidance programs. This is an additional subscription service, but it's definitely worth considering if you need some motivation and inspiration. In the direct sunlight, I found the screen a little bit hard to see. It's not quite as bad as the camera makes out, but it's still not as clear as something like the Fitbit Versa. I found I had to angle it in a certain light to try and actually be able to see it in very bright light, but in dull light it's perfectly fine. While this is a solid fitness tracker, it's a bit of an incremental update, a little bit boring, and if you don't have one, you may want to consider the Charge 2 or 3 unless you really want that GPS function. If you're interested in learning more about the Fitbit Charge 4, I will put affiliate links in the description below. It costs you nothing extra, but clicking on that link and then making a purchase helps support me and the channel. I hope you found this short review useful. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. I'll see you on my next review.